Hello there, how you doing? My name's Electric Johnny Hat. Hope you're all well. I have a little bit of a lisp at the moment because I had some dental work done a few days ago, some major work done to my teeth, so got a bit of a lisp. Apparently it's going to go in a couple of days, hopefully. I've had a bit of a lisp anyway, but not as bad as the lisp that I've got at the moment because of the work that I've had done to my teeth. So, just thought I'd say that. But celestial mechanics. Celestial mechanics is the alignment that are changing, that do change every so often. I'll elaborate on that in a second. So up above is so below. So everything that happens on this celestial mechanics, which is the alignment of the planets and the stars, will affect everything below. So that is the celestial mechanics of the consciousness, basically, because consciousness obviously is controlling the celestial alignment, as well as everything that goes up above is going on below as well. So the celestial mechanics of consciousness will affect everything that goes on down here. So when there's a consciousness shift up here, i.e. a line of the planets of the celestial mechanics, it will affect everything of the consciousness down here with us too. So that controls us, because the consciousness controls everything. Celestial mechanics. Celestial mechanics is a branch of astronomy that deals with the motions of objects in outer space. Historically, celestial mechanics applies principles of physics to astronomical objects such as stars and planets produce empiricist data. So basically, that control of up there will give us the data, the consciousness of everything that goes down and goes on in our day-to-day lives, which is the consciousness of us as well. But like I always say, the macrocosm of the internal is controlled by the macrocosm of the external, which is us anyway. It's a mirror. You are the celestial mechanics, and the celestial mechanics are you, because that controls everything in here. The celestial mechanics of the stars, which would be the electrical points of the God, my brain's not working this morning. Celestial points of the hemispheres, which are controlling the neuro points of our star constellations, if you can call it that, of the hemisphere of the brain. So the constellations up there, or every star constellation or electrical point of star, is controlled of the celestial as well as the neuro down here, which is the microcosm. So the macrocosm to the microcosm is why the celestial mechanics, when alignment that gives the alignment shift, will give us the consciousness shift down here, and we're having a huge alignment of awakening at the moment as we jump into Aquarius. God, that was a lot to get out. So yeah, once we learn up there what goes on up there, we know what goes on down here as well. And we quite recently found the device of the Antikythera mechanism that basically proved that we have a 2,000-year sky clock, and then it gets repeated, which will be the Antikythera mechanism. Was a device or mechanism that was found in the bottom of the ocean, which was lost by the Greeks that we know of, and it's got, like I say, it's got a 2,000-year astronomy clock on it. They basically found it at the bottom of the ocean in bits, loads of like rusted up bits. They took it back to their lab, wherever, to work on it, and they actually realised what it was. It was a 2,000-year timepiece of astronomy. So they basically built a 3D machine to work out how many cogs this mechanism actually had, and they were successful in doing that, and they actually built replicas of the Antikythera mechanism, which gives us our we're getting there, so we now have the timepiece and the actual correct time of the celestial mechanics above us, which will be the star alignments and the planet alignments. But like I always say, the eternal is the external. But that would be the Antikythera mechanism that gave them a huge leap in knowing about astronomy. And I remember when the video first came out a few years back, and they basically cut 15 minutes out of the original version. So they took 15 minutes away at the end, proving that it was geocentric and not heliocentric. That's a fact. That's a fact. Loads of people did get hold of the last 15 minutes, proving them, and they were talking about it being geocentric. But of course, to stick with the globe theory, the globe model and all that, they had to cut the 15 minutes out, proving it was geocentric and not heliocentric, the Antikythera mechanism, yeah. So every so often, they say every 20 years, Pluto comes out and starts creating havoc. So if it creates havoc up there on the celestial mechanics, it's going to create havoc down here on what's going on down here. And every 20 years there was a lot going on. So, you know, you had the AIDS pandemic, things like this 20 years ago. In the 80s, and then you had Fauci and you know, all the other Bill Gates and that all came into play around that time. So it was all done in sort of 20 years, and then another 20 years went past, and then they're talking about the Great Reset. It's all to do with celestial mechanics and how Pluto every 20 years would come around causing havoc. And this is why it would cause havoc down here, because it's a mirror of what goes on down here, because up above is so below. Whatever goes on up there, any alignment or change will affect everything that goes on down here. So the you know, the Great Shift, the Great Reset, all these things that you keep hearing was all to do back then with Pluto that comes around every 20 years. And I think it's coming around again soon to create even more havoc, you know. Miley Cyrus, she done that video called The Wrecking Ball, which was all based on Pluto, basically. I'm sure you've seen the video. Right, so let's find any other notes. I know I've got loads of here. Also, the stock market and things like this with astrology is all worked in conjunction with astronomy as well. Because, like I say, when things change down there, up there, they will change down here as well. Everything changes because it's all down to the sky clock, the real sky clock. And obviously, the people that did put the made the 3D machine to find out about the Antikythera in great detail will know about everything that goes on within them 2,000 years. So what happens back in the ancients, whenever that we already know about, they already knew about that because they had these timepieces. How they knew this, I don't know. They seem to know all this about astrology. How they did it, we don't know. And they build in, like Greek, build these time machines or these timepieces, not time machines, sorry, timepieces that are basically showing us, which is the Antikythera mechanism that are showing us. They built that to show us the celestial mechanics of the alignment that goes on. So fucking amazing. They knew everything and we know absolutely nothing. We are just taking what we can find from the ancients. Everything is from the ancients, because every time there's a catastrophic, whether it's floods or plasma strikes, you know, everything gets buried again, and then people are just resetting again and restarting again. And this seems to what does seem to happen. And then everything gets mud flooded, allegedly gets mud flooded, whitewashed, gone, covered, never to be fucking seen again until the next civilization comes up and then basically redigs us up. And I think this is how it keeps going on. But every major event that does go on is all shown in the Antikythera mechanism anyway. So the powers that be, the governments, whoever, they already know what's going on and when these major events are going to happen, because the Greeks built these timepieces and other timepieces, I'm assuming, all around the world that showed what goes on with the celestial mechanics every so often. So they are well aware of any catastrophic event that will happen in the future. They already know this, because these are devices that the ancients knew about, made to let us know, or to show what they had at that present time, you know. So yeah, just wanted to do a start on that of celestial mechanics. I'm going to do a lot more research into that and do a lot more research on the Antikythera mechanism. I think it's I looked into it a few years ago, and I think it's definitely something worth going back into again and trying to find out the fine detail of the geocentric, because it is geocentric and not heliocentric. So if we can find the proper details of that, then I'm sure we can find out a lot more about the alignment of the planets and the stars and what's coming in the future, things like that. So excellent, thank you very much. I'll speak to you all soon. My name's Electric Johnny Hat. I love you all. I'll speak to you all soon, and I'll come back and after do some more research on the celestial mechanics and the Antikythera mechanism. Thank you.